Excited to be joined by Brad Crawford, who is in Atlanta, the site of the national championship game. Things are starting to heat up there as we get ready for this big game tonight. But Brad, let's start with something happening on the sidelines. We'll get to the matchup on the field, but I want to talk about these two coaches because neither has won a national championship, and that's going to end for one of those coaches tonight between Marcus Freeman and Ryan Day. So in your eyes, which coach needs this win more and why?
I think it's Ryan Day at Ohio State because of the way he ended the regular season, losing to Michigan for a fourth consecutive season. However, he has righted those ships in the playoff. 3 consecutive dominant wins, first over Tennessee at home in Columbus, then going to the Rose Bowl and decimating an unbeaten number 1 ranked Oregon team, and then coming to the Cotton Bowl in Arlington and beating Texas, the SEC runner-up. So Ohio State right now is the favorite in this game. This is the best opportunity for the Buckeyes to win a national title since the Urban Meyer era. And Emily, you mentioned it. 2 coaches tonight going at it here in Atlanta, both of them vying for their first national championship ring.
That's what we love to see, especially in this sport. Sometimes we're always looking for parity, so definitely we'll get that tonight with a coach getting their first ever national title. Let's stick with the Buckeyes here. I want to ask this question very specifically. I'm going to ask what the biggest hurdle for Ohio State is to overcome. The reason that I'm asking it specifically and not including Notre Dame is it could be a hurdle within themselves. So if you had to pick, what is that biggest hurdle for the Buckeyes to overcome if they want to win this game tonight?
Yeah, outside of playing with pressure as the favorite, to me it's getting Jeremiah Smith involved early in the game. It did not happen against Texas. The best player on the field only had 1 catch for 3 yards, and the Buckeyes still managed to win that ball game. But Jeremiah Smith, he's the best player in college football right now, still playing, has a chance to be an MVP in tonight's game if he's given the football. You know, we saw a couple years ago what Alabama and Devontae Smith was able to do in a similar setting against Ohio State. They got him the ball 12 times for over 200 yards in the first half alone. Jeremiah Smith is that capable wide receiver. He's the best player out there, fastest player, best hands, best agility, future first-round pick. So to me, Ohio State has to make him the centerpiece of the game plan. You've got to make Jeremiah Smith priority number 1 if you're Buckeyes OC Chip Kelly.
I think the fear among some Buckeyes is that Texas laid out some sort of blueprint in order to shut down the number 1 player in last year's class. So what do you anticipate Notre Dame to do, maybe that's similar or different based on the personnel that they have to continue the streak of just 1 reception per game for Jeremiah Smith?
Yeah, Marcus Freeman, you know, he attested this week saying that they're going to stick to man-to-man coverage. That might be a really bad idea against one of the best players in college football. But for me in tonight's game, for Notre Dame to pull off this upset, because they are a touchdown and a half or so underdog, they have to limit the fireworks. And that's not give up big plays in Ohio State's passing game. And then offensively, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish have to make big plays downfield. You got to get Jeremiah Love the football. Best running back in this game, in my opinion. And then on third down, Riley Leonard. He's been able to move the football with his feet, did so against Georgia, had some key first down runs against Penn State in that win over the Nittany Lions in the Orange Bowl as well. So stay on the field, keep Ohio State off the field, and limit big plays when you're on defense. This Notre Dame defense is elite for a reason. The secondary is one of the best in college football, and I'm really anxious, Emily, to see what Notre Dame does with Xavier Watts, starting safety. Do you shell him, kind of shade him in Jeremiah Smith's direction? Do you let him play center field and just let him go to work? It'll be very interesting tonight to see how they cover these Ohio State wideouts.
They have a fantastic secondary, but man, the weaponry that Ohio State has at the wide receiver position, you turn all your attention toward Jeremiah Smith, and you got some other 5 stars there that can easily do some damage. Before we get to your prediction, you've been there for a couple of days now. You've been listening to some of these players, and you've been writing about this in anticipation of this game. And it seems like both of these teams are somewhat driven by the inexplicable losses each of them faced at points in this season. How much did you sense maybe that chip on the shoulder mentality and being driven by losses in this game from both sides?
Yeah, starting with Ohio State, I think everybody associated with that program in Columbus is tired of hearing about Michigan. and the Wolverines and 4 straight losses and 4 straight years, and how do we lose to the – look, all that does not matter tonight if around 11 p.m. Eastern, Ohio State's on that trophy, on that stage behind me holding up the trophy. Ohio State's in-game goal the entire season was, with the best roster in college football, was to win a national championship, not beat Michigan. And that could happen tonight if they do so. For Notre Dame, it's, a program gunning for its first national title since 1988. Brian Kelly a couple years ago left Notre Dame for LSU because he could not win a natty there. And now look at Marcus Freeman, already now in the infancy of his coaching era, has the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in the biggest game in college football. So huge opportunity for both of these blue blood programs tonight. Second straight year we don't have an SEC program in it. So Ohio State, Notre Dame battling out tonight to see who college football's last team standing is.
Two massive brands in the sport, but two teams definitely feeling like they got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder considering everything that happened this season. But it all culminates tonight, Notre Dame and Ohio State. Brad, who you got?
I'm going Ohio State 31-10, and I haven't felt this good about picking Ohio State to win a game since a couple weeks ago in Pasadena. All the pregame vibes out there showed me that Ohio State was going to beat Oregon, give them their first loss, and avenge that loss previously. I had the same kind of feeling tonight. Ohio State has the best roster. They have the best player on the field. And defensively right now, Jack Sawyer and that defensive front is just playing out of their mind as far as getting to the quarterback. And if they're able to harass Riley Leonard and get up early in this game, I really think Ohio State not only wins, but covers in a national title game that may not be competitive.
I like it. We got a pick. We've got a score and a confidence meter from our own Brad Crawford. Feeling really good about this pick tonight. Thank you so much for the great preview. We appreciate it. We're looking forward to checking out more of your work on 247sports.com, all about this national championship game. But then, of course, afterwards, I know we don't want to think about it, but it's reality. We got to hit the off season, but don't worry, Brad Crawford and the whole crew will have you covered throughout it, getting you ready to go for next season. Also, for more great content, head to the 247 Sports YouTube page. We will have you covered all throughout the off season. We have some fun new content coming up on the YouTube channel, so go check it out at youtube.com.